Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's Carpenter Shelter Take Out to Give Back virtual event. Thank you so much for the support.
So good evening, everyone. And I want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us this evening. And I want to thank our Mayor Wilson, for his kind words. I want to welcome you to Take Out to Give Back. Without supporters like you donating your time, your talent, and your treasure, we couldn't provide the services we provide day in and day out. And now it's more important than it's ever been to have the support of stalwart supporters like you. So once again, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And without no further ado, I'm going to turn this over to our co-host for the evening, our Executive Director Extraordinaire, Shannon Steene, and our Development Committee Chair, Jennifer Poersch. Thanks again.
Thank you, Edith. We appreciate having you with us and everybody with us tonight. My name is Shannon Steene. I'm honored to serve as the Executive Director here at the Carpenters Shelter. You know, we're gathering tonight in part of actually a pretty long tradition at Carpenters of bringing people together around food and fellowship and sharing the results of what it is that we do. Typically it happens in the spring. Typically it happens at the Birchmere. Typically it happens in person. And so we are just pleased to have figured out a way in which we can continue to be with you to celebrate some of what it is that is unique about Carpenters. You know, this is unlike anything I'd seen. I hadn't expected to be logging in to our major fundraiser of the year. I hadn't expected to get my temperature checked every time I go to work. I hadn't expected to have a mask at the ready. And yet, you know, I could go on and on and on with this list. Amid it all, our work and our mission has continued. Our doors have been open throughout the whole process. And so it seems only fitting that we continue to gather in a different way around food and fellowship. It's like a who's who when I look at the list of who's here as participants. Some of you are long time supporters. Some of you are new to the Carpenters family. And as Edith said, a hearty welcome to all of you. Tonight, we're going to take a look at some of the great restaurants that have supported us. You're going to meet a few of the volunteers and the board members that have been supporting Carpenters in pulling together this event. We're going to take a sneak peek of the building, but one of the most important voices we're going to hear from is that of Landon, and he's one of our residents here at the shelter right now. And then at the end, we're going to share with you an invitation to continue your support of Carpenters. I am thrilled that we've got a chat feature, so if you do have questions, the ably fingered Megan Hendy is going to be doing her best to handle those questions, so plop them in the chat feature And maybe you can play Stump the Band with Megan and see if there's a real zinger you can put in there tonight. So Megan, thanks for doing that. I'm also thrilled to be here with Jennifer Poersch. And so, you know, Jennifer has been leading the development committee in an amazing way and gotten more and more involved with the shelter. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you, Shannon. And Edith, thank you so much for welcoming us tonight, for your leadership in our community, and for your leadership as chair of the Carpenter Shelter Board. Thank you. And Shannon, working with you at the Carpenter Shelter is just an honor. You're such a wonderful leader, and you are so patient with so many of us that it's been an honor to really grow with the Carpenter Shelter. So we're really excited about doing this tonight. It was, you know, kind of a brainchild of our development committee over the summer. And I have to, you know, I'll talk more about the development committee later, but I mean, I give these guys so much credit that, you know, we had a lot of Zooms and on hot summer days where we were trying to figure out how can we bring our community together to help carpenters in a unique way, given the circumstances we're in right now. And so we developed this idea of doing a Zoom fundraiser, and it's been really fun to work with so many talented people on the development committee and the staff at the shelter to make this vision a reality. With that, we want to go ahead and get moving with everything we have planned tonight. And as Shannon mentioned, we've got the chat feature. If anybody has questions for Megan, I'd love to see her stump tonight. That will be kind of fun to watch. So please don't hesitate to ask something on the chat feature. The first thing I want to do tonight is talk about our restaurants. So we partnered with 11 local restaurants in Alexandria tonight to, as you guys saw in the literature, if you order takeout, if you've already ordered, or you can order during or after the event tonight, a portion of those proceeds will come back to the shelter. So it's a way to get dinner without having to make anything tonight, and also a second way to give back to the shelter. So the restaurants that are participating in this event tonight include Dishes of India, Hout Dog, Holy Cow, Mia's Italian Kitchen, Pork Barrel Barbecue, Sweet Fire Donna's, Tequila and Taco, Theismann's Restaurant, the Sushi Bar, and Whiskey and Oyster. We're going to see some of those tonight, and we'll start with the Carpenters Shelter 2019 Kids Award, which went to Dishes of India. And so, Steve, if we can get rolling, let's watch a video from Dishes of India.
Excellent. We're here at Dishes of India, and I'm excited to be picking up some dinner.
And welcome to Dishes of India. Thank you so much.
Wide array of different options on the menu. Hopefully you can find something that's going to be just right for your family.
Yep, and order online, call ahead, curbside pickup, completely contactless, safe. You bring the food to the car, you don't even have to come downstairs, pick up the food. So
Can't wait. It smells delicious. Thank you.
thank you.
That looks great. One thing I wanted to just briefly mention is how much, as I mentioned before, the development committee was a part of making this event a success. And it was because of members of the development committee who reached out to many of you on this call tonight and made a personal appeal and asked to help that we are at the success rate that we are today. So many of you on this Zoom tonight have helped us at Carpenters in the past. And then there are many of you who haven't helped before. And it's so exciting to see members of our community come together, some for the first time, and many of you time and time again when we ask. If it weren't for folks like you, we wouldn't be where we are. Carpenters is an organization that relies heavily on donations from the community. And so having all of you here and willing to sign in and take time out of your busy day to be on this tonight is just a heartfelt thank you. So as you can see, we've got all the committee that's scrolling now, and all of you that co-hosted this evening. So thank you so much. Back to Shannon.
Yeah. As I look at those 11 restaurants, it was actually hard to figure out where I was going to go in order to find a little bit of dinner. Full disclosure, Jennifer, actually, I already ate dessert. Started with that. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
There you go. Life is short. Start with dessert. Yeah. Taking a look at those 11 different restaurants, in some ways, it's like taking a trip around the community. And in addition, we've got supporters all throughout the community. And so when I see things like our board member, Ian Bryan, and I see Pork Barrel Barbecue together, like that's an amazing combination. Let's hear a little bit from Pork Barrel.
Hey, I'm Ian with the Carpenters Shelter Board of Directors, and I'm at Pork Barrel Barbecue to pick up my dinner. Hey, I'm Ian here to pick up my dinner.
All right, we got one for Ian Bryan.
Yeah,
there you
great.
go. That must be you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And can you tell us a little something about Pork Barrel?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. We are locally owned. The owner, Bill Blackburn, lives here in the area in Delray. He's kind of like the unofficial mayor of Delray. We own Pork Barrel Barbecue, the sushi bar, as well as Holy Cow Restaurant. So all three of them right here in a row.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for supporting Carpenters Shelter. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We're very in tune with this neighborhood and this community, and we love helping out all the charities and all the nonprofits here in the area, especially the Carpenters Shelter. So thank you very much for coming for your dinner.
All right. Can't wait.
All right,
Thank you.
enjoy.
Have
Thank
a
you
good
very
night.
much.
I know what the Bryans are having tonight for dinner. It's great to see so many of you putting content in the chat feature. If you do have a favorite restaurant, feel free to list it there, show them a little bit of love, and that would be great. I've been on Team Carpenters for 5 years, and the biggest challenge and the biggest project, the biggest group project that seems like it's got more tentacles than you can imagine, is our New Heights Redevelopment project. Carpenters Shelter is an organization that's got remarkably humble roots. We started in a church basement, we moved to a warehouse, then to another warehouse, then we retrofitted a DMV where we hung out for about 20 years. 3 years ago at about this time, we started building out a defunct shopping center, department store here in the Landmark Mall as our temporary location. And I'm thrilled that next month, we are moving into some purpose-built space for us back at 930 North Henry Street. And so we wanted to share just a few images around what that process has looked like for us. So Steve, if you can go ahead and roll some of those. For many of you that drove by 930 North Henry, maybe you renewed your license here, this is what the old building looked like. And the next step in the process, 3 easy steps. The second was to build out the old department store. Cavernous space and figuring out how do we get 18,000 square feet out of a 100,000 square foot building in a way that's safe and suitable for our residents, knowing that it was all temporary in that sense. And once that was handled, then it was time for picking probably the hottest summer day in order to do an outdoor groundbreaking in our asphalt parking lot. It was a cooker, to say the least. And then to start taking down the building and putting together the new building after that. The new building will have underground parking, a purpose-built shelter on the main floor, and then 6 floors of affordable housing up above us. And so through the wonders of technology, we're going to take a look at a brief tour of what's in that new building. We do move in next month. Construction is not yet completely final, but we did want to give you first eyes on what's going on inside 930 North Henry.
that is just amazing. I'm a little choked up with seeing what this shelter is going to look like and mean to all the residents in the community. You know, when I started getting involved in Carpenters Shelter, I had always been interested in issues around homelessness and feeding the most needy in our community. But just like, you know, many of us on this call, I got busy with life and hadn't really volunteered for an organization like this for some time. And I saw that my friend who's on this call, Megan Hindy, was involved in the Carpenters Shelter, and I reached out to her one day and I said, hey, you know, I think I might want to get involved with this group. And Megan, you know, jumped right on it, and she was like, why don't you join the development committee with me? And I did. And at that time, the project for New Heights was just getting underway, and it had already been approved by the board to try to do this. But it was in the very early stages. And then Megan, along with Fran Becker, who used to be the executive director of the Carpenter Shelter many years ago, came out of retirement. I don't know what you had to do, Shannon and Megan, to get her to come out of retirement, but between the two of them, Megan and Fran chaired the New Heights campaign, and that's our capital campaign that got us here. We were really fortunate to have a public-private partnership that helped us get, you know, 85% of the way there, but we still needed to raise funds from the community to get to where we needed to be. And with the leadership of Megan and Fran, along with the support of Shannon and Monique Quigley and many others at the shelter, we raised over $2 million. And it just gives me chills to think about what the people in this community were able to do, so that we can now house so many more and have better, stronger services. And really, you know, particularly in a time like we're in right now, where, you know, some of the poorest in our community need more than ever. It is just really heartwarming to see what this community was able to do. And we want to just build on that and keep doing what we're doing, and who knows where we can go. So that was a really special video. I'm really glad that we were able to share that, and we're super excited to move into the building. Fingers crossed at the end of this month. So we are all, you know, holding on tight for that. So I'm gonna transition for a minute from my tears here to our next restaurant that we're gonna feature tonight, Tempo Restaurant. And Catherine McCarron, who's a new member of the development committee, was kind enough to go chat with the folks at Tempo. So here we go.
Hi, welcome to Tempo Restaurant. Come on in, your order's ready.
Thank you so much.
You go first.
Hi, your order's already here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And all you have to do, since you already called in your number and everything, is just take one of these sterilized pens and you can sign your credit card receipt for us.
Thank you so much for supporting the Carpenters Shelter. We really appreciate it.
Oh, we've been doing it for years and years and years.
So,
Tempo really has been doing it for years and years and years. And they were our 2019 Carpenters, one of our Carpenters Cook-Off winners as well. So pleased to have them in the mix, and I can personally attest to the coconut cake there. I often get a lot of questions for what does Carpenters Shelter actually do? I think our name suggests that we're a shelter, and that's true, but we do it as I mentioned earlier, a big group project, about 1,200 volunteers a year, a staff of about 25, the majority of them full-time staff. We're open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, obviously. And so much has been different during the pandemic. I referenced a little bit about temperature checks and masks and all of that. trying to spread people out, limiting the flow of people in and out. It was the first time in our organization's history that we didn't have volunteers in the building for a few months. It was very telling to me that the residents commented on how unusual it was not to have the spirit and the energy of our volunteers and how much they missed that. And so amid all of that difference, standing up a second location in order to make sure that we were able to help people that are chronically homeless adhere to the governor's stay-at-home orders back at that time. In addition to all of that different, those were just tools and approaches, but the thing that stayed constant throughout it all was our work and mission. And so let's take a look at some of those programs. Steve, so our signature program is our residential shelter. It serves families, single men and single women, everybody who's homeless and in housing crisis. In addition, for people that are chronically homeless, we provide some access to services to allow them to meet their basic needs, some showers, some laundry, giving them access to a phone line and the internet and such. For some, during the cold weather months, they need a place to not freeze to death outdoors at night, and that's our winter shelter that we operate in collaboration with the city. For everybody that's here, we're trying to move them toward permanent housing, and so our rapid rehousing services are the solution to homelessness. Homelessness is a lack of housing. About half of the adults coming into shelter are already employed, but clearly it's not enough. And so between our education and employment services, they're key, as is our clinic. We provide base medical care for people who are homeless and uninsured in the city of Alexandria, and it's staffed entirely by professional medical volunteers. We are thrilled by their long-standing service, knowing that for decades we've had doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals coming in on a weekly basis in order to meet the needs of those that we serve in a medical arena. All of this happens because of the support of you, because of the support of corporations, foundations, individuals, family foundations, as well as some support from the local government. Let's take a look at one of the organizations that throughout the pandemic was particularly involved, and that was Mia's Italian Kitchen. I know that they had done a GoFundMe in order to help raise some additional revenue to keep feeding our residents.
Hey, I'm Mayor Justin Wilson.
Awesome.
I am thrilled to be here at Mia's Italian Kitchen to pick up my carryout order for tonight's virtual event.
I've got it all ready for you. We got some fresh made pizza, the dough we make here every day, and I've got fresh pasta with some different fresh sauces for you. Everything we make here is scratch every single day, so I'm sure you'll love it. And you know, we've been supporting Carpenters Shelter for a long time. We feel our food travels well there, and the residents really seem to love it. And it's a great organization to support.
Well, thanks so much for supporting their important mission. We appreciate it.
I'm actually eating Mia's right now. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we had a big debate in our household tonight. I told my kids that they could choose any restaurant on the list to order takeout from, and they had a really hard time deciding, but ultimately the winner was Mia's Italian Kitchen, and it is delicious. So thank you to Mia's. And Shannon brought up a good point earlier. You know, we have a lot of opportunities at the shelter for folks that want to volunteer in different capacities. One of the things that we do is we serve 3 meals a day to our residents. And, you know, my girls and I have volunteered before to make sandwiches and to go lunches for folks that are at the shelter, and they go to their job during the day and they need something to take with them to eat. You can also, you know, make dinner and bring that to the shelter, but oftentimes folks will order from different local restaurants and have the food delivered to the residents of the shelter. And Mia's has been a restaurant that knows how to do that. They've got the system down. They can help you decide what you need to order, how much, and they're not the only one. There are any restaurant on this list is just great about helping with takeout, and frankly, the residents love it. I mean, they get excited when they get takeout from some of these restaurants. And so we do have a volunteer coordinator who I think is on tonight, Jamila, and she's great. If you email her, she can tell you when there's availability. if you want to volunteer to either make food or send carry out. It's great. And she has all kinds of volunteer opportunities for folks that are interested. So we'd love to see anybody that's interested show support that way. It's I can say for my family, it's one of the things that really helps get my kids involved in the shelter, and it helps them to understand what the needs are and how important it is to help the neediest in our community. So with that, what I'd like to transition to now is a testimonial from one of our residents, Landon, who is in the shelter right now, and he was kind enough to interview for this event tonight. So with that, we will transition to Landon.
I found Carpenters through Social Service of Alexandria.
Okay, and basically you went to them and
they referred me to Carpenters Shelter because I had nowhere to go at the time, and they acted pretty fast. And
how long did it take you to get in?
Oh man, it took less than a week.
Took less than a week?
Mm-hmm.
And so how long have you been here at the shelter?
I've been here for a month and 6 days. I wanted a new start, and that was it. You know, I'm 40 years old, and I just needed something of my own, you know. The staff have actually outworked me in my search for a place.
Oh, really?
You know?
What have they done so far? What have
they reached out to numerous places for funding so I can get my rent paid, you know, and they just went like overboard. They overdid it. You know what I mean? So what happened is they just blew me out the water.
So give me an example.
Like I work a lot. So my counselor, we introduced ourselves, and I told him exactly what it was that I wanted to do. What happened, he didn't waste any time. He just went straight to it, you know. So all I had to do was just bring in my income. He helped me develop a plan as far as like budgeting. I would just give him all my money, you know, every pay period. And what he would do is he would work overtime. He would even take my case home with him on his off days and work it like that. You know, so for every move I made, he would make 5. You know what I mean? A couple years back, maybe, or 4 years back, I went to ACS. That was the same, it was the same thing as here. You know, I wanted my own. But last time I was in the shelter, I wasn't ready, you know. So now it's a
Why
new
weren't
ball.
you ready? What was the block?
I had a lot of things pulling at me, like girlfriends and stuff like that, you know, and trying to find an easier, softer way. It's no easier, softer way. You get out here and pay bills and rent. The help, the extra mile that the counselors go, it's, you know, it's every day. You know, I already got the place, he's still working for funding. I'm like, he's still punching, you know. So another thing that really stood out, and I'm gonna leave it right there, it's just the atmosphere that the staff create. You know, they're keeping us first, you know, like asking us what we need, and the food is great. I see all good things. I see a platform. If I'm not mistaken, they put me in the best position I've ever been in. So if I drop this ball, something must be wrong.
Great. I appreciate you taking the time, and look forward to seeing you sort of leave, I guess.
I will. I might cry.
We'll be happy for you.
Thank you, man.
Right. Thanks, dude.
Thank you, Landon. That was really, really special to see Landon be willing to just expose himself out there to everyone on this call. So we really do appreciate it. You know, as a member of the board and the chair of the development committee, I just can't let this call go by without asking for more. And you know, I really, as we mentioned before, we appreciate so much everybody that took the time to help us out, make a donation, and support this event. But you know, there's always room to do more. So we are hopeful that some of you are inspired by what you've seen tonight and might be willing to help us again. There's a QR code on here, as well as Megan sent around a link to our website. And you know, just hope that you will consider, you know, maybe you want to make a monthly gift. You could do, you know, $10 a month, $50 a month, you know, whatever works, or maybe a one-time donation is the right fit. Or maybe you've done enough right now and you're like, no, leave me alone until next year, Jen. And I totally understand. But you know, we want to just make sure that you guys see all we do and what we continue to try to do. And if you're inspired and want to give a little more, it is all put to good use.
It's true. Jennifer, thank you for that. Yes, our greatest support is the community. It's you, and it's me, and it's our friends, and it's our family and our neighbors. It's how we do this. It's not easy to aid people who are in crisis, who are in the midst of a challenge. There's no doubt about that. But this is what we know to do. This is what we're built for. And so in this context of recognizing that we're in the midst of an economic climate that's remarkably difficult, and frankly, as we look forward, it doesn't look like it's going to get easier. It looks like we probably need to batten down the hatches and really be ready for what's coming as our community fully feels the effects of this economic malaise caused by the pandemic. And Carpenters is important. We're part of the fabric of this community. We are an expression of this community's generosity. And so it is with complete, unabashed candor that we share with you what it is that we do, what works well, areas in which we can be stronger, and we invite you to come along with us on this journey. So you've got the QR code, you've got a bit.ly link. If there's an additional way in which you need it, put it in the chat function and we'll see if Megan can find it for you. But we're so grateful and thank you for all that you do. Holy cow, people, holy cow. I think about what it is that we've been doing for so long, and it's amazing. Also amazing, holy cow.
Hi, I'm Megan Hendy, and I'm on the board of directors at Carpenters Shelter and on the development committee. And I'm on my way tonight to go pick up my Take Out to Give Back from Holy Cow, which is in Del Rey in Alexandria. They have terrific food. It's one of our family's favorite places to go. So I'm on my way.
Hi guys, this is Bill Blackburn. I'm here today with the Homegrown Restaurant Group in Del Rey at our 3 restaurants here, Pork Barrel Barbecue, the Sushi Bar, and Holy Cow. We are longtime supporters of the Carpenters Shelter and have participated in the Carpenters Cook-Off for over 20 years in different variations in different parts of our restaurants. We're happy to participate again in this year's virtual version of that because the Carpenters Shelter does so many great things for Alexandria. It's one of the pillar organizations that supports Alexandrians that are in need, and we're very proud to be a part of everything they do.
Holy cow. You know, one of the other exciting things that we have to announce tonight is that we are going to launch our online auction, Octoberfest, at the end of this call this evening. I don't know if any of you have ever had the opportunity to participate in our online auction, but it's really exciting. We have all kinds of items for auction. You can start your Christmas shopping earlier, since many of us are not going to actual stores to buy things, and we're probably tired of the Amazon boxes showing up at our front step. Maybe we can order some online Octoberfest shopping and make it easy. There's a QR code on here, as well as a link to the website for the live auction. It's going to be going until October 22nd at 11:59 p.m. You might want to check often. You can have your bid set up where you receive a text alert if somebody's outbid you. And we're periodically adding new items between now and the end of Octoberfest there, so you can check early and often. I think that's all there. If you have any questions about the Octoberfest, please go to the chat room and Megan can help you. And also, just as a reminder, we are getting towards the end of our event. So if you do have any questions and you've been holding back, now's the time to chat and ask anything you have, and we'll do our best to answer any questions. With that, I just want to transition into the end of our evening and really thank everybody again. Like I said at the beginning of the evening, many of you are familiar faces, but there's a lot of new faces here tonight who haven't helped us before. And it's really great to see so much support for the shelter. It really is heartwarming. I want to give a special shout out to our board of directors. The folks on the board work tirelessly to help make sure that we're able to support the neediest in our community. And so many of you on the board were just fantastic in supporting this event early, and it's really appreciated by all of us. Also, as I mentioned before, the development committee, really, you guys were amazing. I mean, we've got 3 new development committee members, Kristen, Beth, and Catherine, who just like jumped right in and just got to work immediately on this. And then we've got some folks that have been on the development committee for a while, former board member Charlotte Hall, who I think is on tonight, Megan Hendy, Willie Bailey, and I can't remember if I forgot anyone. I think that's everyone, but everybody really pitched in and helped and really made this event amazing. So thank you. And then last, our host committee, we couldn't have gotten here without you, honestly. So many of you were so quick to respond to us when we asked for your help and we asked you to support at that level. I mean, I was just, every morning I'd open my emails and be like, wow, somebody else said yes, this is great. And we'd get a note every day with the folks that whose donations came in, and I was so excited to see so many familiar names on there. And then folks that bought tickets tonight, thank you. I think that, you know, I hope that many of you got an opportunity to see what Carpenters is about and are inspired to continue to support the shelter in one of the many ways we talked about this evening. And then finally, I mean, I think this is Shannon's portion, but I can't go without personally thanking the staff at the shelter, led by Shannon Steene, who's like one of the most amazing humans I've ever met in my life, and Monique Quigley, who is the finance director over there, along with so many others. Tech Steve, who's our presentation tech tonight, has been amazing on getting everything, Lachelle, and so many others. So thank you all for all you do, and especially the hard work and dedication you've shown to the shelter in this incredibly challenging time.
It is true that we've got a solid team on the staff here. It's true that we've got an amazing cadre of volunteers and a board that is right now knee-deep in crafting what the strategy is for us heading forward. Doing a refresh on what that looks like. I can tell you that our previous strategic plan was all about redeveloping the building, and so that question of what's next, how do we continue to live out and serve our community in a way that is meeting the need in the style, in the culture that Carpenters has grown and developed over many, many years. We're so appreciative of you being with us. You will be seeing an invitation once we're ready for our virtual ribbon cutting of the new building. So you got a taste of what it looks like as of this week, and you will see what it's like when it's finished and we are in. So please do log back in when that invitation comes out to all of you. With that, Steve, can we take one last look at our restaurants?
guys. Good night.
Have a good night. Enjoy your
Thanks
dinner,
for all you do.
everybody.